Last year's initiative by President Andrzej Duda was to raise the percentage of GDP spent on defence from 2 to 3%. At the time, it was ridiculed by the so-called experts. Today, it is considered prudent. Donald Trump speaks of 5%, while NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte is talking about spending of around 3.5%. There are many reasons why NATO countries want to invest in defence. The first is, of course, Russia's prolonged aggression against Ukraine and the entirely new doctrines of warfare being developed there. The second is the United States' departure from its role as the world's policeman. Under the new concept, NATO allies should take care of their own defence, and the US will provide the means to multiply the strength of local armies through space and cyber reconnaissance, new defence systems, target tracking and long-range transport. NATO countries should treat the costs of armaments as an insurance policy, according to the old Roman saying, if you want peace, prepare for war. Vladimir Putin, who 3 years ago began the extremely brutal war in Ukraine, has no intention of stopping. The danger of an attack on NATO countries is ever present. Hence the need for regional agreements. The Bucharest Nine includes, in alphabetical order, Bulgaria, the Czech Republic, Estonia, Hungary, Lithuania, Latvia, Poland, Romania and Slovakia, while the Nordic countries include Denmark, Iceland, Norway, Finland and Sweden. Together, these countries have a population of 121 million and their armed forces number over 540,000 soldiers. Within this group, coordination of activities, for example in the Baltic Sea, and support for Ukraine, currently tying up the Kremlin's army, are being discussed. However, more money needs to be allocated to military equipment, greater combat readiness, and defence training for the population.
I hope that we will be able to reach the consensus on 5%, but of course it is more complex issue because we are talking about 3.5% of GDP as a core defence expenditures, and plus 1.5 percentage points as expenditures to defense. And of course there is the issue of timing, and we have to understand that Russia is not waiting. Russia tries to consolidate and reconstruct the military forces as soon as possible. So we have very limited time to do the same. I think we should talk about 3-5 years.
You know that when it comes to Ukraine, in Washington, there was a clear commitment by all 32 allies that there is an irreversible path for Ukraine to come into NATO. Not with an end date, not understanding this as part of a peace settlement, but clearly as a longer-term commitment by all 32 allies.
The Polish army is a true pillar of NATO. With 230,000 troops and huge expenditure on modern equipment, President Andrzej Duda, the Commander-in-Chief of our armed forces, is listened to with particular attention. Today he was able to announce that his successor, President-elect Karol Nawrocki, will continue the policy initiated by the late former President Lech Kaczynski.
Ladies and gentlemen, for me, today's meeting had a special significance, and it was my last opportunity to speak at this forum as President of the Republic of Poland. I have to emphasize that co-creating and later co-developing this format has been one of the most important and valuable aspects of my presidency.
Tension on the European continent is growing. Security will cost more and more. But thanks to Sunday's decision by the Polish people, Poland will not stray from the path of building a strong state that is a reliable ally of the United States and its neighbours on both the eastern and northern flanks of NATO.